1963, a young John Lewis arrived at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, prepared to excoriate the Kennedy administration, which many racial justice activists viewed as lacking moral resolve in its approach to civil rights. The speech was so damning, though, that other leaders asked Lewis to tamp it down. But even after a thorough edit, Lewis' words demonstrated how radical the civil rights movement truly was. Lewis and his peers didn't just want to desegregate public spaces and acquire voting rights. They wanted to disrupt an entire system, knowing that Black Americans couldn't be free in a country afflicted by unchecked police violence. This serious social revolution, as Lewis put it, is still unfolding 57 years later. Martin Luther King Jr.'s soaring, "I Have a Dream" speech, delivered from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to some 250,000 people, often overshadows the words that Lewis spoke at the rally. But Lewis' speech is known as the more blistering of the two, especially considering that the boy from Troy, Alabama, was only 23 years old at the time. "We come here today with a great sense of misgiving. It is true that we support the administration's civil rights bill," said Lewis, who that year had been chosen to serve as the chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. "We support it with great reservation, however." The source of this reservation was the fact that Title III, designed to grant the federal government the authority to rein in, among other things, police brutality, hadn't been included in the proposed legislation. "Unless Title III is put in this bill," Lewis told the crowd in Washington, "there's nothing to protect the young children and old women who must face police dogs and fire hoses in the South while they engage in peaceful demonstration. In its present form, this bill will not protect the citizens of Danville, Virginia, who must live in constant fear of a police state." Police state. The America of 2020 tends to remember Lewis as a champion in the fight for access to the ballot, given his role in helping to secure the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But as the above words illustrate, the late congressman was also an early exponent of fundamentally curbing police terror. As Margaret Burnham, a professor at the Northeastern University School of Law, wrote after Lewis' passing in July, but for a short revival after the 16th Street Church bombing in 1963, Title III would never get out of the committee rooms. Today, Lewis' demands couldn't feel more essential or familiar. On Sunday, police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, shot Jacob Blake, a 29-year-old black man, multiple times as he tried to enter an SUV. According to the veteran civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, Blake had been trying to break up a fight. Currently, Blake is in the hospital. An investigation into the officer's conduct is underway.